They are trying to ruin the one good thing about football still. Club football, you can kind of see it going in a horrible path with so much money being spent over and over again when it gets to the transfer window. The Champions League obviously expanding, which I like, but also some people don't like it. What's one thing you cannot ruin in football, people? It is the most egregious thing to do is try and ruin the World Cup. The allure, the prestigiousness about it. Well, FIFA and Infantino, the idiot he is, the parasite, the biggest parasite right now in football, is trying to ruin it every which way possible. Because, yes, 48 teams is going to happen next summer, which we're going to see if it's going to be a good thing. There was obviously always going to be criticism about it expanding, but we saw the same criticism when it was expanded to 32 teams, 24 teams. So let's give 48 teams a shout. Obviously, now with so much improvement around the world when it comes to football and more spots being handed to CAF, to AFC, I think it's a good thing. We're going to have to see how it plays out next summer. But then FIFA said, oh, no, no, no. Michael, you might hate us now. Oh, you're going to hate us even more with our next brand new idea, people, for the 2030 World Cup. Because according to this article, FIFA held a discussion on Tuesday about expanding the Men's World Cup to 64 teams. After receiving a formal pitch from a delegation of influential South American leaders. Oh, what a shock. Alejandro Dominguez and his wonderful, idiotic ideas. I'm sorry, this guy is also another parasite. He can't even fix what's happening in CONMEBOL when it comes to racism, dealing with crowd trouble. Alejandro Dominguez, fix your own problems before trying to destroy everybody else's. These guys are just not smart enough about football. But let's hear it. The group included heads of state from Paraguay, Uruguay, as all senior football executives from the South American Confederation, CONMEBOL, yada, yada, yada. They had a meeting at Trump Tower. Okay. The 64 team idea was first presented by Uruguayan football Ignacio Alonso during a FIFA council meeting in March, according to New York Times. The proposal surprised many on the call, but FIFA says it has a duty to consider ideas presented at its council. In April, Dominguez pitched the idea to CONMEBOL's Congress. He said the 64 team concept would be a one off mark to mark the 100-year anniversary of the first Men's World Cup, which took place in Uruguay. So basically, because Alejandro Dominguez and Uruguay, Paraguay, Argentina, they could not secure the World Cup entirely in the South American continent for the 2030 World Cup, because obviously it's going to be played in Morocco, Portugal, and Spain. They said, because we couldn't get a group, because we're only going to get 3 games, let's try and expand it. Then we can get more money. I'm going to talk to you why this is a disaster on all fronts, people, on all fronts. Let me just get through this article quickly. I would like to invite you to reflect together so we can do something that the world is waiting for, that the football community deserves. It is what football teaches us. This guy is honestly, I want to underline the words of Alejandro. He told us to think on how we can really celebrate it the way it deserves to be celebrated. The way to celebrate it is not by expanding it, is by providing a better product to the people, maybe providing a better product to the people at the stadiums. You're going to have to really rebuild the Estadio Monumental in Montevideo. You know why? Because the stadium is old and it needs refurbishment. It needs reconstruction. I think that's going to be the plan anyways. All ideas are welcome, but no specific ideas have been discussed. Sorry, people. I've just been rambling on here. This video is not planned because you could say this is a rant. I'm sick and tired of FIFA. I'm sick and tired of CONMEBOL. I'm sick and tired of Infantino and Alejandro Dominguez trying to ruin this sport. Look, 48 teams is a good idea. We see how much improvement there is in the CAF region, in the AFC region. Getting more spots to CONMEBOL maybe is not the brightest of ideas because it really dilutes the sort of product that is CONMEBOL World Cup qualifiers. But getting it to 64 teams, one, Chile will still not find a way to qualify. One, Venezuela still will not find a way to qualify. And also, Nigeria still won't find a way to qualify. But why is 64 teams a disaster? All right. There's so many point of views. And I'm kind of just rambling on here, people. So just get your thoughts in the comments down below as well. Also, one, it's because of all the travel. Okay, if you have 3 group stages in South America, then those teams and those fans, they have to travel to Portugal, they have to travel to Spain, they have to travel to Morocco for the knockout stages. Oh, yes. What a wonderful idea from FIFA and CONMEBOL to do that. It really is just baffling to me. Okay, if you have 3 games, fair enough. Maybe some fans will go take the journey and then they'll just go back to Europe or Morocco for the rest of the games. But having 3 group stages, it basically equals to CONMEBOL, they just want as much money as possible. Alejandro Dominguez is not saying, "Oh, would be a perfect way to promote the beautiful game, to promote international football." No, it's to promote your back pocket getting bigger and bigger because you simply cannot do your own job well enough. Look at your confederation, Alejandro Dominguez. Look at CONMEBOL. Look at all of the crowd trouble there's going on in all of the games, it seems like nowadays, which is a sad thing. All the racism that has occurred in some stadiums within fans. Like, CONMEBOL has their own problems that they're not willing to fix. Instead, they're just like, where's the dollar bills? Let's go there. Let's have Copa America hosted in America. Let's expand the World Cup because we don't know how to really promote our product well enough. And another thing is, qualifiers are going to mean nothing. That is the one thing that I love about this channel, and maybe other channels do as well, is we cover international football. We cover the World Cup qualifiers. You know why? Because they're special. There's so much pressure on the line when it comes to each and every game. If you lose a game, you could be out of the World Cup. If you win, all your hopes are up. Then the fans believe. You know, when we saw like Iraq having a good World Cup qualifiers, the fans started to believe they could return to the World Cup. Indonesia, when they beat Saudi Arabia, oh my God, the enjoyment from the fans online was crazy. Or you go to CAF with Ghana, you're like, so we're not that bad. So if you're just going to expand it more and more and more, what's the point of qualifiers? Where's the trepidation? Where's the sort of excitement about it? It's gone. You're just basically going to exclude it completely if you expanded to 64 teams. And somehow, UEFA will get a lot more. CAF might get one more. AFC might get one more. And then CONMEBOL, let's just invite everybody at this point in time. Let's just invite everybody. Somehow, CONMEBOL will get one spot more, and then there will only just be one team eliminated. It's just like qualifiers will mean nothing. There will be no enjoyment. Obviously, I will still be covering it because we could still get some interesting storylines. But the qualifiers will be dead, which is the one thing about the World Cup I love. It's just such like when you had that moment of when your team qualifies for the first time ever, like in Uzbekistan, maybe a Cabo Verde, a Jordan, most recently, you're like, we did it, guys. But 64 teams is like, okay, I don't care if it's one off. This should not be an idea whatsoever. That's like over 1/4 of all the nations in the world will be at the World Cup. Isn't this called the World Cup? Yeah, you could say, Michael, everybody should be having an opportunity to qualify. That's the Olympics. Let the Olympics do that. This is supposed to be for the best teams in the world. If 48 teams qualify, that's fair enough. And obviously you have the hosts. So I think the qualifiers will be dead, but we know why they're doing this, people. It's not about expanding the game. It's not expanding the horizon of football to other countries. No, football is the most popular sport in the world by far. There's not even a competition. Maybe basketball somewhat, but football is by far the most popular sport in the world. The only reason why they want to expand it, money. That it's as simple as that. And that's going to be the thing. Greed is a horrible sin, people. Greed will be the death of FIFA, will be the death of UEFA, because these guys think they can keep on doing this, keep on expanding the games, keep on trying to get as much TV money. I think they said somewhere that the FIFA World Cup in 2022 made $7 billion. Next year's World Cup might exceed over $10 billion that they might generate in revenue. Although, and then what can you imagine if 2030 with 64 teams? Oh my God, Infantino, Alejandro Dominguez, they must have had a wank off or something saying 15 billion. Oh, Alejandro, here's 1 billion for you. Infantino, you get 3 billion. Greed will kill these companies, and people will soon be like, no, we're not taking this anymore. We're not going to travel all these destinations. Obviously, it's going to be for the more richer people who have money, but no, working class people like myself, I consider myself a working class person. I have to work hard to try and get those tickets for the World Cup next year. I have to work hard to get, plane tickets, to get everything, hotels, to watch a national team sport. It's like, it shouldn't be that way, but it is obviously in today's world. So if you want to expand it to 64 teams, the amount of travel that people have to do, the amount of money they're going to make, greed. It's all about greed for these guys. And international football right now is becoming an afterthought, I think, for the companies, the players, which it shouldn't be the case, even though I still feel like the players really care about international football more than club football, because what's the one goal? And everybody as a kid growing up around the world, they always watch the World Cup. They're like, man, I really want to lift that one day. They don't. Who cares about a Carabao Cup? An FA Cup or Coppa Italia? Okay, maybe some people want to lift the Scudetto or Premier League trophy. That's fair enough. But there's that feeling of when you watch the World Cup in the summer and you see the players lift the trophy like Iker Casillas in 2010. You're like, I want to win that one day. Now, Oh, we're going to invite everybody here. Okay, San Marino, you get a ticket. East Timor, you get a ticket. Finland, you get a ticket. Chile, maybe you get a ticket. Everybody, Seychelles, come on through. Come on through, everybody. Everybody's invited. It's like the one thing the World Cup has over most tournaments is quality. The best of the best are performing at that tournament. Now, if you invite everybody, I mean, we'll get like maybe Italy versus, I don't know. I'm trying to give an example here. Italy versus Indonesia. Okay, Indonesia might be competitive, but Italy will still win that game 4-5-0 just based on the quality they have. It's like we don't need to see that at the World Cup. We need to see competitive games, the best against the best. You know, that's why people are crying about the Champions League being expanded, which I don't care. I don't mind it being expanded to 36 teams because there's only 4 more teams from 32 what it was previously. But if you expand it to 64 teams, I mean, some of the games are going to be like 6-0, 7-0. And that's not a disrespect to other nations around the world, but a Spain versus, like, let's say Spain goes up against Gabon. Gabon are a decent team. Yeah, they're a good team in CAF. Spain are the best of the best. That game could finish 7-8-0. Costa Rica faced 7-0 against Spain in the last World Cup. So everything about a 64-team World Cup would just be so disastrous for football, for international football, and people would just laugh at international football, which it shouldn't be the case because international football, for me, still has that allure about it, about being something that I grew up on. You know, club football now, it's just so much money-based. International football still has that competitive aspect about it. But if this happens, there's no competitiveness. It's just going to be, all right, the best teams, obviously, they will make it to the round of 16. Maybe we'll get some Cinderella story, but at the end of the day, it will just be the Spains, the Portugals, whereas when it was a 32-team World Cup, you got that one Cinderella story, one dark horse, but 64 teams, it's just such a bad idea. Look, for some countries, it will be good because you might get the opportunity to qualify, which obviously for me, being from Finland, and my nation has never qualified for the World Cup. Of course, it's like, oh, we get a chance, but I don't want to qualify like that. I don't. 48 teams is still pretty hard to qualify. So even if your nation qualifies for the first time ever, you should be very proud of it at 48 teams. 64 teams. Okay, one off. I don't care, Alejandro Dominguez. It's a terrible idea. You lost the bid for the 2030 World Cup. They gave it to Portugal, Morocco, and Spain. You need to eat it up. You need to apologize to your confederation, to the people that work under you on why you didn't really get the World Cup in your own backyard. And Infantino, this guy don't care. Infantino is such a parasite. Honestly, first with the Club World Cup, which, you know, you could say was a success, but some teams are now feeling the effects of it. PSG, Chelsea, with some injuries they've recently had. So you want to expand it to 64 teams. Oh, you just want to see your pocket grow more and more. That's all these guys want to do. It's just grow the pockets. Don't care about the players. Don't care about the fans. Don't care about the environment. Don't care about the actual product on the field. The product will soon dilute so much that people will get drawn away from it and go somewhere else, watch some other sport or watch a show or something. Because at this moment in time, football's in a very intriguing spot where it's either going to get super diluted or these guys won't care, and they'll just keep doing it until there's no players on the field and there's no people watching the sport anymore. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you in favor of having 64 teams at a World Cup? Even me just saying those words, it's just so egregious. It's so egregious. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And of course, we have a lot of international football content here on the channel. So if you like that sort of stuff, consider subscribing. And remember to follow me on all the socials, Instagram, Twitter, join the Discord, all those links, description down below. But have a beautiful day. Stay safe in this crazy world. Till next time, adios.